the question most people are asking, is my soil suitable for this crop or not suitable for this crop? Which crop grows on which soil and which soil is suitable for what kind of crop? On my experience, when I've through the agricultural field that for the few years that I've been there, I've found people doing things you wouldn't expect to do. I've found people growing crops on rocky places. Uh, People grow crops in swampy places. Um, yeah, people have done amazing things with their soils that you cannot even imagine. That most people have given, of course, conditions as to whether this soil and another soil is suitable for a crop or not crop for a crop growth. So, but there are three factors that can be we can put into consideration, and these three factors are some of them can be manipulated, and then some of them cannot be manipulated. And the cost of manipulation sometimes is also high for some factors, and yeah, so the ability to manipulate a factor makes it available for a certain crop to grow on a certain crop field. Uh, and this is what most farmers don't notice. It's not just about which soil is suitable for what. I believe strongly it's in the ability uh, to manipulate that factor to suit the needs of a certain crop, because every crop has its needs in terms of nutrients, in terms of temperature, in terms of porosity, in terms of soil depth. The crops which need a well tilled soil for them to have their roots growing so deep, and then there are crops. Of course, we may not do like that too much tillage because of the kind of root system they carry. They may not really need to go very deep. So I believe it's an ability to manipulate these three factors that that makes the crop suitable for its growth. So first of all, you must know which factors are suitable for a growth of a crop in a certain area, and those factors range from temperature to this environment, and then the soil. Now these factors are actually three, in what the 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 scientists call them. The first, the edaphic factors. Those are factors that are related to soil. Edaphic meaning related to soil. Then with the environmental factors, and then the climatic factors. Now maybe let me share briefly each one of them. So soil characteristics. Mostly people presume it to soil characteristics, the edaphic factors, but there are soils that are suitable either for some crops, and there are soils that are suitable for some crops. But like I believe, the ability to manipulate these factors is what makes those factors suitable for the growth of a crop according to the needs of the crop. If you can manipulate the soil factors in a given area, then you can make those soils suitable for growth of a certain crop. Because imagine there are people in the deserts are growing crops. They're growing certain crops. How are they making it out? Because they have adapted to, they have had they have the resources enough to manipulate the factors that can contribute to the crop of growth. Find people in the desert, you manipulate, if they manipulate, if the problem is water, manipulate the factors in soil that make be able to create water for the crop to grow. See, we are going to again into precision agriculture, where everything the crop needs is provided by the crop. You've seen of the hydroponics, where everything is provided in a solution form for the plant to access them uh, in the simplest way possible. So I believe the ability to, if you can really manipulate the soil factors, because how does someone really grow? Maybe one time I'll show you a video of some of the farmer I know who has grown bananas on a rocky place. How does someone grow bananas on a rocky place? Because we know by the characteristics of soils, we know they say they are good. You must have at least the loamy soils, for you to. But these are rocks, for God's sake. They are rocks, but how does someone manipulate the soils to make them suitable for the rocks to grow? That's when you will see the addition of compost, if the soil lacks compost. So it's first of all in for edaphic factors, it's first of all in the ability to know what kind of soil you have. That's why sometimes, not sometimes, all times, it's very important for you to know the type of soil that you're dealing with. That's the purpose of us doing the soil testings, to know what kind of soil you're dealing with, so that you can be able to manipulate it to suit the kind of crop that you're growing. If the crop works under, it's under maybe sandy loam soils, and maybe if you have clay loam soils, how do I manipulate the soil texture so that it matches the sandy loam? I think the science, not I think, I believe the science is there. The science is there in how you manipulate. Then there are some factors really in the soil that you can never manipulate, or the cost of manipulation is really very high. Like how you can deal with the swampy place, how you can fill soil in a swampy place so that you make this conditions are not anaerobic, and reduce more of anaerobic part of the soil conditions. That is very, the cost of manipulation of that is very high. Of course, you'll have now to grow the crops that are really suitable for that kind of environment. The other factor, of course, like I've mentioned, environment. Yeah, the factor is environment. Environment has very many aspects. It has vegetation. We can clear the vegetation. It has topography. There are slopes. The slopes that require a high cost to manipulate them. So you find ways of going again manipulate that you can be able to grow. That's why people have come up across with contours to be able to grow crops on those slopy areas. Otherwise, how will people survive? People need to eat food, so you must be able to manipulate the soil, the topographic factor, the slope. Yeah, if it's a flat land and maybe you need to deal with a flat land, maybe you may have chances of flooding in the flat land. How can you solve that? So to make your soil, your crop suitable for growth. So it's not just more about the soil. It's the other factors that must be considered for to make a crop suitable for that. Then the other factor that, okay, topographic. There's some factors in topographic that are controllable, and then there's some that are not controllable. But the ones you can control, you can control. Then there are the ones that have a high cost of controlling, or you cannot control them. That one you have nothing to do but to relocate your crop, or maybe enact a greenhouse, something like that, because the greenhouse has a controlled environment for you to be able to grow some crops. Maybe because even the cost of now enacting a greenhouse is also very high. But nevertheless, people have to eat food, so we go with all possible solutions that are there. So the other factor that we have really less control, but can maybe sustain it in a way, is public. No, not public. Is climate. Climate. We really have less control over climate, but though we can have an influence on climate by the way we treat our environment. Yes, but that happens over a long run. How will you make a place? Because there are places that are inherently cool. You cannot manipulate that. Places close to the Antarctic, they're inherently cool. You cannot manipulate that kind of weather because it's beyond our control. But then we can mitigate some of, because some of the weather changes are due to the influence of human activity and human factors, industrialization. So there are things we can do maybe to manipulate the effects of the climate changes. Growing trees, afforestation, reforestation. There are many factors that can be considered. So those are the three factors that must be considered whether a crop is suitable for a certain area or not. Because most people have been deluded it's about the soils only. It's not about only the soils. Those three factors must be put into consideration. You must study the soil. The soil has first of the abiotic factor, then the biotic factor of soil, the living organisms, so the biotic factors, those are biology, biotic, abiotic, they have no life. That is texture, pH, structure of the soil, Catan exchange capacity. These are scientific terms for lay farmer may not know them, but yeah, that's why you also need to deal with an agronomist to help you know what kind of soils that you're dealing with. So if you can manipulate those three factors, then you can to a condition where a crop is suitable for that environment, then you can grow a crop in that environment. So if you can manipulate the climatic factor, you can manipulate the environmental factor, and then the edaphic factor. So before you grow a crop, before you consider whether a crop is suitable for a place, those three factors must be put into consideration. If you know the factors, are they suitable for the crop? Can you manipulate them? What is the cost of manipulation? Think about all those before you start to grow a crop. Otherwise, in the meantime, uh, continue to practice out, and we shall meet in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Ciao.